watching this morning about Toyota's new water engine. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't. That sounds made up to me, but I'm fascinated to know. Is it hydrogen?
Yeah. They basically have, there's a water tank, you fill it up with water, and then it separates the water and the hydrogen in the tank,
Yeah,
and then burns the hydrogen and then emits the water.
yeah,
But they've managed to do it in such a way now that they're doing that process on the fly in the car while it's moving.
yeah.
I mean, if you can put water in a car and it goes, I mean, that is just unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, it is unbelievable, and also a man ended up being deaded in America. There's a very famous case. I don't know if you're aware of that, of a man who invented he had a beach buggy that ran on water. Hold the line, and I will get information. Right. So I go into my library and I go and get the Rabbit Hole Underground Car Park, which you may not be able to see because of all sorts of reasons. If I stand in front of it, there you go, the Rabbit Hole Underground Car Park, which is a fabulous
Yeah.
book which everybody should go and buy, which tells you all sorts of things. And yeah, one of the great stories in it is, and I will tell you the chap's name when we get there, because there's a few people have said they can run things on water, and it's not entirely, we're not entirely convinced that's the case. But
Well, apparently there's a bloke in Iran. I was
yeah,
watching a video on YouTube today, and he it's about the Toyota water engine. If you just search Toyota water engine on YouTube, you'll find it.
yeah, you will
Uh,
you will find reference to that man in Iran because he had a Peugeot, didn't he? 405.
yeah, Peugeot 405. When you watched
Yeah,
him fill it with water and drive off in it.
yeah, yeah. Well, in the chapter called "Just Add Water," because obviously once upon a time there was something called steam cars, where steam cars at the beginning of the century rivaled electric cars as, oh, are we going to go steam or are we going to go electric? And steam cars were quite fantastic, actually. I mean, a Stanley steamer was a very, and hydrogen cars, BMW had loads of those 20 odd years ago. They had a water propelled 5 Series and they used to do 7 Series as well. Now, actually, there's a patent there to run a car on water. Now, that is actually an official American patent there, and that was the method for production. I'm trying to find. Yeah, his name was Mayer, Stan Mayer. So everybody look up Stan Mayer, and he perfected an electric water fuel cell. It's film of it working and all sorts. But obviously, he says he was targeted by people. He was going to sell it to someone. But yeah, there's a patent. It's US 4936961A. And you can go there. I presume you could pretty much copy it and then run your car on water. But yeah, he claims there was it's a fascinating story in that he went and had lunch somewhere with investors, and then he had a like an aneurysm, and he sort of died very soon after this meal, and it was all very dodgy. But
This is
yeah,
a cheery story, James.
it's a very cheery story. But yeah, you are right. Yeah, Mr. Qasimi in Iran, he had a Peugeot 405, and yeah, it's fascinating to watch the video because he gets a hose pipe, doesn't he? And he sticks it in the fuel tank. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well, he
yeah,
drinks it first, then he sticks it in the fuel tank.
I would recommend people, and I have mentioned this in some other books I've written, is when we come to free energy, Nikolai Tesla. So that's the original Tesla, not Tesla
Yeah.
cars. So he actually made a car in the 1920s, which ran basically on fresh air. It was he believed that there were, well, he said there were radio waves around, and you could make use of all, electricity was free, and it may well be free. We might have been conned in all of this.
Stands a chance that we've all been conned. It
Yeah,
happens a
we have
lot.
been absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, there is more to this, but obviously we will get charged to drive water-based cars, whereas actually we should all have one ourselves. I think at future-proof cars, we should try and build one ourselves. That'd be good. Uh,
Well, if you think about it, James, nobody's going to want the government. The government don't want you driving water cars because they lose out on a huge amount of tax.
they would, wouldn't they? Yeah, because 75% of your tax people is goes to the government when you drive a car. And there you go for demonstration purposes. Bradley actually runs on water. Um,
Do
for confirmation.
all that water talk made me thirsty.
Yeah. So we've gone down a fantastic tangent there, which was very, very good. In that, yeah, we tell you that actually you could run a car on water, and we will investigate this. We will try and see if we can run a car on something other than petrol, because it's wildly expensive.
Well, it's they're taking the piss, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, well, they have done because
Yeah.
yeah, you go to certain countries and petrol isn't that expensive, is it, for some reason? But we have the most expensive fuel, the most expensive energy, the most expensive heating in the world.
I lived in Dubai for a while, and you could fill a Range Rover up for 15 quid.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, yeah. I reckon you could pretty much do that there. Yeah, do go into in this book. I also go into oil. Because I might have mentioned this to you before, but maybe not on a stream. But when Russia were cut off from the rest of the world in the Cold War, and nobody would supply them with oil, or they couldn't get oil from the Middle East, it's a massive country. They just dug wherever, and they found oil. There is oil. Oil is everywhere. It's an infinite resource below the soil, and you can think I'm mad for saying that, but it's true. And yeah, people like Rockefeller again, detailed in this book, how the evil Rockefeller empire basically has screwed us. So yeah, we are.
I know you like a conspiracy theory, James, and I must admit I do quite enjoy it
Yeah,
too. Um, but you are convinced that oil is an infinite resource and we're not running out of it. And
yeah,
we whisper this, but we're being conned on the climate change as well.
yeah. I think we are. Yeah, yeah. If you go into it, it's called. We were Rockefeller said basically we should call it a fossil fuel, and if you call it a fossil fuel, it sounds very like rare. So you go, it's a fossil that will run out. But actually, that's not the case at all. It's not dead dinosaurs. Your car is not run on dead dinosaurs, whatever.
Is it replenishing itself, or is it a finite resource, or is it just so
No,
much we'll never get through it?
it's replenishing itself. I don't think people completely understand that. If you do talk to people who actually do dig for oil, they will tell you it's not running out. I mean, wells do, it becomes difficult to extract sometimes, and that's when they say
So
a well is dry. But no,
if this is, well, you've got to start looking at the bigger picture. Then the more you draw yourself away from something, the more clearly you can see the picture.
yeah,
And the picture is that we've been pushed into electric cars.
yeah,
We've had climate change shoved down our throats for
yeah,
25 years, and we've been pushed into buying electric cars, not buying diesels. I mean, you can't even buy BMW diesels anymore, I don't think, can you? Which really
no, it's very
pisses me.
difficult. The last Audis have just come out, I believe. So it's the last diesel Audis you can buy now.
You can't, I was looking for a diesel 5 Series the other day. I
Yeah,
think the only one the earliest one I could find was a 21 or a 22 plate,
yeah,
or the latest plate I could find was a 21 or 22. The bigger picture then is if oil is replenishing itself,
yeah.
and this is a known or little known fact. I mean, I'm assuming that people that make policy decisions and try and make the place better for us as taxpayers, you're assuming that they'd want the best for us. So if they do want the best for us, then obviously the best for us is to not worry about climate change because it's inconsequential, because driving our cars, I know, is less than 1% of the cause of climate change. So that's not really a consideration, is it? So if you get past that bit, then you've got to ask yourself, well, why have we been forced on electric cars? Why are they lying to us about climate change? And why are they bullshitting us about fossil fuels and infinite resources? And the only thing you can really conclude is that it's probably all about money or control or power.
No, that's about all it is. I mean, I can only highly recommend my book because it goes through everything. The scientists were tasked to determine what constitutes an organic substance. They decided it would be hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. So there you go. That's how they did it. And having created the fossil fuel fraud, they are now running in the other direction as its job's done. Don't be fooled. Oil is infinite, overpriced, and the second most plentiful liquid on the planet. So the first most plentiful is water. And I'm sure they're going to restrict our access to that soon. That bottled water you got there, Bradley, you won't be able to get hold of soon. Yeah, I just got lost in my own book there. It's fantastic. Explains everything. But only 3 people bought it, Bradley. So never mind. So,
Mate, I'll buy one. Where can I get it?
I have 0. Well, you can get it in the evil Amazon empire, but I will give you one in person the next time I see you.
Marvelous.
I'll sign it as well. So there you go. So to Bradley, So there you go. So you can't give it away to anybody else.
I'll sell it.
Yeah, or sell it. Yeah. I've always thought actually with future-proof cars we should do alternative fuel because it's going to come down to that one day. I really do think they're gonna stop E5 fuel certainly at some point. We're going to have to find something different to shove in the tank. So, but alcohol, you can distill alcohol, which obviously was done in a very big way in America, certainly before the Second World War. Distill most things into alcohol, even potatoes and stuff like that, and then run a car on it. But you've got to.
I'm very interested to see what goes on with that water engine thing. I think it could be amazing. Toyota seemed to have. The gist I got from the video was that Toyota have cracked it.
Mm.
Please like and subscribe.